share my positive vision as I get around Virginia for how to grow jobs and how to grow our middle class and to move people up out of poverty in Virginia and into the middle class. And that's what I'm focusing on from here until not quite 4 months from now on November 5th. And I want to ask everybody listening, and you, Jack.
Okay, Mr. Attorney General, do you have a couple of minutes to wait before I take a break and come back? There's a couple other questions I'd like to ask you. And then I have a lot of questions. A lot of callers wanted to know if you are open to taking any questions this morning.
Well, I guess I would, Jack, but I'm now, I've got like a 5-minute window here until I'm going to be late for the next.
Okay, give me about 3-4 minutes for an interview, and we'll come back and we'll tie it up with a question or two.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Holding on with Attorney General of Virginia. We're going to break right now. We'll come right back. I know it's tight.
If you want more of Jack, stick around. He'll be right back on WLEE News Talk 990.
Most people think of medicine in relation to some material form of treatment. But there's another kind of medicine that approaches healing from an entirely different standpoint. The Bible indicates that Jesus' medicine was the power of God. Hear about the effect of this divine healing power in people's lives today. That's on the next radio edition of the Christian Science Sentinel.
Brought to you by the First Church of Christian Science at 2201 Monument Avenue.
Revitalizing your office, starting up a new business venture. This is Jim Jacobs for Richmond Office Interiors. This is the time to give the experts in the furnishing business your business. With top-of-the-line new and used office furniture for over 15 years, they've stepped up the pace with an impressive showroom right in the heart of Richmond, with easy access right off the interstate. If they don't have exactly what you need, they have access to a large network of used office furniture throughout the country. They can also provide high-quality refurbished and new office furniture at reasonable prices. Richmond Office Interiors delivers and installs and offers space planning as an added value. Remember, Richmond Office Interiors. Stop in today, 2323 Westwood Avenue at Tomlin, or give them a call at 612-8785, 612-8785. Call Richmond Office Interiors.
Now, back to the Jack Gravely Show on WLEE News Talk 990.
No, we're not taking any calls. Mr. Attorney General. Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Attorney.
sir.
Mr. Attorney General. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. The Attorney General of Virginia, Mr. Ken Cuccinelli, who's running for the Republican position of Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, is with me from an overlook somewhere out in the Shenandoah Valley area, and we appreciate him being. And I got to say this again. And I'm saying this, Mr. Attorney General, for other politicians. Every time I've called this man's office, he's returned my call. Every time I've asked him to be on the show, this is the 4th time Ken Cuccinelli has been on the Jack Gravely Show. He's come. There are some Democratic politicians. I've written you. You won't even answer my emails. I'm calling you out this morning, and I have a Republican on my show to show folk out there what it's like in the world of talk radio. Now, Mr. Attorney General. The other question that we have for you, Mr. Attorney General, are you still supportive of Governor Bob McDonnell at this time and stand behind him?
Well, I'm not sure how you mean that, but of course I'm the Attorney General, and we're working with him and all his agencies to conduct the governance of Virginia, and he's got himself in a disappointing situation. I referred a gift investigation over to the Richmond Commonwealth's attorney. So I've been in the pipeline of this process at the state level, and so I really have to be pretty reserved as the Attorney General about saying much more than that, Jack. Obviously, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing, and it's motivating, I think, some of the political temperature to change the gift laws you were asking me about before that I've tried earlier, but I think we're going to get there in the next session. But nonetheless, as you know, I got to be at least somewhat limited in how I respond.
Now, we're not going to be surprised, have an October, November surprise in reference to Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli with the release of any documents of you receiving any gifts or anything like that. The voters are not going to be disappointed that way, are they?
No, Jack, I had a press conference back in, April or May or so forth, and found every mistake that I had ever made. Now, if there are others out there, I'm totally unaware of them. I went back and found those. I'm the one who brought some forward. I'm the one who was transparent with them. And so, to our earlier discussion about commitment to transparency,
right?
I've done it. I've done it when it wasn't all that flattering of me. I'm not running for governor telling people I'm perfect. I'm not. The one campaign promise I keep every day is I'm going to make mistakes.
Okay.
But one thing the people of Virginia can already see with me that you don't with my opponent is I'll own up to my own mistakes, and I'll tell the people of Virginia about them. And we'll move on from there, and we'll take whatever action is appropriate. And I've done that. My opponent is hiding what he knows and what he's got in his own finances and not letting people see it, even with reports out there of using tax shelters in the Cayman Islands and the British Virgin Islands and those kinds of things that, frankly, as you know, Jack, Democrats always attack that. Well, here we got a Democrat who looks like he's doing it, and he won't share his taxes with us.
Do you think that's the reason why he will not release 8 years of his income taxes, because of where his money may very well be, or investments may be?
He wrote a book one time about all his fundraising, and one of the things he said, quote, "If you've got nothing to hide, release the documents," unquote. That's from Terry McAuliffe.
How many debates will there be between you and Terry McAuliffe during this campaign, Mr. Attorney General?
Well, there's one next Saturday at the Virginia Bar Association, and it'll be simulcast, as I understand it, online with PBS.
Okay.
There is a second one scheduled with the Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. I assume that my opponent will do that one. Those are the only two scheduled right now. We challenged him to 15 debates all over Virginia in every locality, Danville, Winchester, Roanoke, Richmond, Hampton Roads, and he has not accepted that. He has that.
Is the discussion still ongoing, or is it dropped or dead? Is it a dead issue right now? Where is it?
No, it's not a dead issue, but the way it's developing is, the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce or the Loudoun and Prince William Chambers of Commerce are communicating with the campaigns and saying, hey, we want one of these debates. And we're saying yes to these folks, and the McAuliffe people are. So it's happening one community at a time, one organization at a time. And, of course, all we ask for is a good, fair, even, balanced debate, but I think they should happen in every community. You asked me about workforce development in Southwest Virginia, just to give one example. The answer to that question, the answer is the same everywhere, but the relevance of workforce development in Southwest Virginia, and you know about that area, is totally different from the relevance of workforce development in Fairfax County.
Altogether true. I agree with you 100%.
Totally different.
I agree.
So we need to be all around Virginia sharing our visions with Virginians, and I'm willing to do that, and my opponent is not.
My final question for you, Mr. Attorney General. There's been a lot of discussion of the Republican Party not reaching out to certain communities around the state of Virginia and around the United States. Why do you think, and what do you think needs to be done by the Republican Party in Virginia to be more inclusive, especially as it relates to African Americans and Latinos, if you feel there's a need for that? And what would you do to enhance that?
I think that's a great question, Jack. I really appreciate that. After 2012, there's a lot of hand-wringing at the national level. Oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to reach out. You know what? Since I got elected in 2002, I've been doing it. I'm one person, I'm one candidate, but the first person I met with, the first community leader I met with after I was elected to the state senate, is I went up the street and met with the pastor of the black church down the street who was having land use problems. That was my first community leadership meeting, and I've stayed engaged since that time. I've been to the statewide NAACP conferences for almost all the years. I think I missed 1 year as AG. I've had a deep engagement with them, working on a variety of issues, and restoration of rights is something that I have supported. I am the leader in Virginia in working to exonerate wrongfully convicted felons, and one of the records I'm going to leave the Attorney General's office with, I believe this is correct, that I will have assisted more wrongfully convicted felons to be exonerated than any Attorney General in the history of Virginia. That's a record I'm really proud of, and that's of great concern, as you know, to a lot of the leadership of the African American community.
Yes, it is,
and it's of concern to me, and it has been for 10 years, and that's important.
Are you in
Because I didn't just come up with this stuff for 2013 to run for governor like my opponent.
Are you in favor of making it easier for ex-felons to receive their civil rights again once they complete all of their terms with the state, pay all of their fines? Are you in favor of making it easier?
Yes, and I've supported the governor's efforts in that regard since 2010, since I arrived as Attorney General. And this is an area that I grew into. I didn't used to think this was appropriate. I thought it was just part of the punishment. And as I've been frustrated with trying to make some other changes to the criminal justice system, I've gradually come to the conclusion, as I did 3 years ago, that we really need, for some and most of these nonviolent felons in particular, we really need to move in the direction of restoring civil rights as quickly as possible so we can reintegrate them into our communities, and we can tell them, look, we want you back. We want you back as full participating members of this community, and to show them that show of trust. Obviously, what we want in return is their re-engagement, their positive re-engagement in the community. But I believe nobody's beyond redemption. I believe that second chances are part of what makes America great. And I think this is a great way that Virginia can step forward in that way, and I absolutely support it.
Mr. Attorney General, I'd like to thank you so very much for pulling off on the side of the road to talk to us on the Jack Gravely Show. And I gotta say this before I leave, Mr. Attorney General. Tell Miss Ann Nix, thank her. I love working with her. She got you on the show. She made it possible. And I'd like to give you a shout out by saying thank you. Mr. Attorney General, be safe, and we look forward to talking to you again. All right. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Gravely Show. We got to get out of here to go to break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Jack will be right back. Call into the show at 788-0990.